So, there's a certain moment in every game where you can feel the defense tighten up. Not because the score changed, but because the tempo did. That moment I'm talking about tends to arrive the instant Tyrese maxey touches the ball. Everything speeds up. Help defenders will try and inch in closer to the lane, but simply can't move over quick enough. Big men get caught in sticky situations, whether to backpedal to be ready for the drive or hedge hard to guard the three. Guards, well, they get caught in his wind when he zips right past them. And if he's to get out in that open floor, he'll surprise you with something nice.
Maxey, the southpaw stop!
With all of that said, what makes Maxey dangerous isn't just that he's fast, it's that he's calm while everyone else is rushing to contain him. With his relaxed pace coming up the floor, the defense will assume they have him contained and the paint protected. But if you leave any angle to attack, such as this outside drive, Tyrese will use that hezzy into a crossover to burst towards the rim, and while the defense moves with urgency to recover, Maxey softly used that inside hand to slip this right off the glass and in. Before this season, we would see these flashes of Maxey being an elite player in this league, but he was still in the shadow of Embiid. Well, as we all know, Joel Embiid is in and out of the lineup just as Paul George is. And the Sixers can't just slow down, so they gave the keys to someone who can step on the gas and put it in overdrive. Maxey is no longer waiting for the moment anymore, he's creating them. You can see this in the way he brings the ball up the floor. There's no panic or rush in his dribble, but there is a sense of urgency. For the defense, they can't really react to his moves because they happen so fast, as instead, they're reacting to possibilities, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is where control starts. With his speed being a factor to worry about, you can give yourself space as a defender to be ready for the drive, but here's where he'll rise up over you while you're late to contest. Other times when he's rushing down the floor, Maxey hasn't even made his move yet, but the defender is already bought in on the drive going left. This here makes it extremely tough for him to recover back when Maxey shifts direction going towards the middle with the low carry, and although the defense thought they got a charge on this play, the call would be overturned as Maxey stays focused through the contact to complete the layup. A lot of the time, defenders will be so bought in on the attack one way that they use a soft double to shade him that way, but what they don't realize is that if they leave even the slightest gap open, Maxey will exploit it. And by the time he gets 2 feet in the paint, you might just be too late to stop him. This navigation in the full court plays into his half-court scoring perfectly, as when Maxey drives the ball, it rarely feels desperate. Like even at full speed going 100 miles per hour, everything feels like it has intention behind it. Such as on this play here, he'll use the calm handle to then sharply cross Hawkheads over, and with the line drive to the rim available, Maxey takes advantage. This change of pace is something that will always give the defense problems, as it'll seem like he's slowing up to get into a tray ball, but once you make the mistake as a defender to stand up more straight to guard that, that's when Maxey switches gear to pursue the basket, and then to make sure you can't fully contest, he'll get into your body before extending out to collect 2 points. Honestly, you can try whatever you want, but the main goal needs to be to get right in front of Maxey as he drives, or else you'll continue to give up easy ones time and time again. When an entire side is cleared out with only you guarding Maxey, it's highly important your big is already in held position, or else he'll blow right past you to then delete the contest with a quick finger roll. And then other times, when you are in front of him when he decides to attack, this is where this gap right here needs to be closed sooner to stop him from attacking, and if it isn't, well, once he's in the paint, it's pretty much a done deal. When looking at the numbers, Tyrese has converted 53% of his shots within 8 feet, and the reason we use that distance is because it plays right into his floaters as well, which we will get into. But I do want you to understand something, and that's that all this isn't just about blowing past defenders, as it's more about forcing them to choose incorrectly. Take this play for an example. When Maxey comes off the screen, we all know he wants to get to the paint, and a straight line drive is usually the quickest way to get there. So that's why you see Goga coming over to guard that, but as you can see, when Maxey changes directions, this makes Goga have to turn all the way around, and although he gets a solid contest, Tyrese is just too crafty with his placement off the glass. In other situations where it's not him getting downhill off a screen, it'll be off his own creation into a blow-by, and some would say this is the ideal scenario right now with the big in front of Maxey ready to stop him. But with bigger guys being slower to react, that Euro will catch them off guard while they watch the ball fall through the basket. Oh, and trust me, this isn't a one-off thing, because again on this play, we'll actually see the big hedge hard on the screen, allowing Maxey to cut back to split the gap, and now with the second help defender gearing up to stop him, Tyrese hits Kuz with that Euro as well to go get the and one.
A little bit of energy until there. This guy just is an ultimate silencer.
Now hold on 1 second, I need y'all all to listen to me. Now the reason I'm saying that is because I finally found what they didn't want us to see, and it's called Polymarket. Let me get on my phone so we can go through it together. This is Polymarket. It's legal in all 50 states, and instead of betting against the house, you're trading a live market. The 76ers are at 76% to beat the Pacers. Now right now, I believe in Philly, and I think they're gonna win this game over them, so I took the trade, and now we just wait. If I wanted to cash out right now, I could. I'm talking about instantly, no lockout, none of those cash out unavailable prompts, and if at any point I feel like this trade trade isn't going my way, I don't have to sit there and pray into the final buzzer. I can go ahead and just cash out immediately and cut my losses. I believe in the Sixers, so I'm gonna go ahead and let it ride. And guess what? They ended up winning, so it's time for me to go ahead and cash out. Now compare all of that to the other sports books. They make you place and lock in a bet, but over here, we just got trades that we can go in and out of. $10 free is waiting on you. Just go ahead and download the app and use my code. And the fees, man, the sports books take about $9 on every $100 win. But Polymarket, they charge 1 cent. Now look, $10 free is waiting on you. Just go ahead and download the app and use my code. You don't need a card, no deposit, it's real easy. Once again, you can unlock that $10 through my link below. Stop letting these sports books steal your money and come over here and join the revolution. If there's an angle to get there, Maxey will make sure to make it happen, and he does so in many different ways that the defense just can't stop. You can funnel him baseline into a ton of traffic, but that doesn't do much of anything. You can then cut him off with the help defender closing the gap, but he'll counter it with the spin off to complete the bucket over the big helping. And even if it's not anything flashy that makes the highlights, Tyrese will go right into the defender's chest to then use that floater off the glass. That exact play right there shows you how Maxey has solved defenses who try to use size against them, giving them another thing to worry about. Bigs usually don't want to step up too far, and guards don't want to trail too tight, and that hesitation from both is the space that Maxey lives in. To us on the TV, his floaters can look almost rushed at times. But like I stated earlier, he's moving at the exact pace he likes, while the defense, well, they're the ones left a couple steps behind. Coming off this screen, Black is watching how careful he is on his backside due to playing players like SGA and Brunson who will foul bait tremendously. And then for Wendell, he doesn't get too close because 1, he's worried about the lob to his man cutting, but also because he could end up fouling Maxey. All this here is nice to have in mind, but with no real action taken, you allow Maxey to float this in with ease. Now I get it, this may look easy to some, but trust me, this requires timing, precision, and a soft touch to knock these down constantly while moving at higher speeds. For every small guard, this is something you want in your game, as defenses don't understand how to guard that in-between area that well, which leads right into Maxey shooting 46% from the mid-range this season. What makes Tyrese Maxey's mid-range game so special isn't that he can just get into it, it's how he gets there without ever announcing it. Most guards will treat the mid-range like a backup plan, but for Maxey, it's a pressure point. Everything starts with speed, but the mistake defenses make is assuming speed means chaos. When you look at Maxey, he doesn't play chaotic, he plays decisive. And in that mid-range, decisiveness becomes control. When Maxey comes off a screen, defenders are already leaning back. They're worried about the blow-by, they're worried about the rim pressure, and they're worried about being embarrassed. That fear alone buys Maxey all the real estate needed to operate in this area. When watching Buddy Hield match up with Tyrese here, you can see him heavily shading Maxey into the help as he thinks the drive is coming. And now for Maxey, all he does is stop on a dime, and he doesn't need a whole bunch of fancy moves to knock down the bucket. These abrupt stops can leave defenders looking silly when they try to recover back but end up chasing straight air. But don't get it misconstrued. If Maxey needs to add in a little bit of extra stuff, he can step back to see the view and make it rain over 2. This separation he creates to get the shot off can all out be lethal. You'll have these times where he pulls out this sidestep that almost looks illegal that cooks defenders. And to add some flair to those, he'll spin off his defender before initiating that bounce out, and this right here is straight, wait, everybody say it with me, and this one right here is straight cash. If it's not that handle that leads to him getting into his shot, well, Maxey is comfortable with contact. He doesn't avoid bodies in the mid-range, as when the time calls for it, he'll bump into them to move them back, and this flows right into his pull-up over the top. With many ways to create, it pretty much leaves the defense in a pick your poison scenario. Either you give up space and allow him to get creative in the in-between area to put the bucket in over you, or if you allow him to blow right past you, then he can use that floater before ever reaching the help, and then if the help isn't there quick enough, he can use that soft touch in close to defeat you. All these ways inside the arc to score make the defense helpless when guarding you, but let's say you want to make them go completely crazy, well go ahead and knock down your threes at a 40% rate while taking 6 per game. Yeah, Maxey is a pure sniper when it comes to letting it fly. Like for real, even when you don't think he has a chance of making the shot, he'll soon show you different.
Shot clock's at 1, Maxey heaves it up, got it!
Maxey's three-point shooting works because it never exists in isolation. And by that, I'm not saying that he doesn't ISO defenders or nothing like that, because we all know he can get busy. But what I am saying is that fear that defenders feel isn't just from his shooting, it's from all the ways he can score, which in turn makes his shooting the consequence. By the time Maxey rises up from deep, the defense is usually already compromised, and it's not because of ball movement or broken possessions, but it's because they spent the previous moments reacting to threats they couldn't fully contain. His deep range shooting doesn't just arrive suddenly, it arrives after pressure has already been applied. What stands out immediately to me is how composed Maxey looks when he shoots from 3. Even when defenders are sprinting towards him, his base stays balanced, his release stays smooth, and his mechanics don't speed up to match the chaos around him. That calmness right there isn't accidental, it's earned through hard work and repetition. When you see defenders closing out recklessly, it isn't simply because they respect the shot. They're closing out recklessly because they're terrified of all the ways he can score and they want to stop him. And that fear right there lets Maxey cook them in many different ways from the perimeter. Tyrese himself understands this better than most guards. He doesn't wait for defenders to fully commit to going under screens or fully sag off. He reads intent. And the moment a defender hesitates, the moment their feet starts angling towards the paint instead of the arc, Maxey knows the possession is leaning in his favor, so he doesn't overthink it and rises up immediately, turning defensive indecision into instant punishment. This here's why his pull-up threes feel natural. They aren't forced, they aren't always heat checks, they're taken at the exact moment the defense reveals what it's trying to protect. If a defender goes under even slightly, Maxey doesn't test him again. He ends the possession right there. Along with that, his pace plays a massive role in this. Tyrese doesn't sprint to his pull-ups out of control, he flows into them. He'll come off a screen looking to go downhill, force the defender to retreat, and then stop abruptly into the shot. That sudden deceleration we see is what creates space. The defense, well, they're not late because they're slow to react. They're late because they're trying to guard two things at once. And once that balance is lost when he snatches back, it's already a done deal. Even when he's operating off the catch, Maxey always looks calm, and this is another layer to his game the defense has to worry about. While most guys want to sit around and allow the ball to find them every single time, Maxey will choose to make himself available as well, and this here makes it easier for his teammates and for himself to get into a shot with rhythm. Once Tyrese is rolling from deep, the defense loses its ability to dictate anything. They're stuck reacting, guessing, and recovering. And when a guard can score from deep while still holding leverage to get downhill, this is where they become quite unguardable. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload. It helps me greatly when you guys watch these videos all the way through, as it pushes me in the algorithm. Hopefully one day we can hit 100k subs. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.